Stoicism and Liberation: How Ancient Wisdom Frees You from Modern Chains. Have you ever felt like a prisoner in your own life, shackled by invisible chains of anxiety, anger, stress, or craving? In a world of constant notifications, comparison traps, and endless appetites that never seem satisfied, we chase freedom in all the wrong places. We switch jobs, partners, hobbies, even identities, thinking the next external change will finally set us free. But what if the only true liberation is internal? 2,000 years ago, men walking dusty Roman streets already unlocked the secret to unbreakable freedom, teaching us how to break mental chains that still bind us today. This is the story of Stoicism and liberation. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll discover how ancient Stoic wisdom can set you free, no matter what modern pressures you face. Before we begin, subscribe to Stoic Gateway, because we're building a community of minds who refuse to be slaves to circumstance. And stay until the end, as we reveal hidden codes and truths to help you navigate the chaotic and ever-demanding world. Now let's begin. Here are 15 Stoic secrets for your liberation. 1. It's the first prison, the prison of opinion. Picture this: you're scrolling through your feed, and your mood subtly shifts. Someone's on vacation in Bali, someone else just bought a new car, another person is flaunting their perfect relationship. You feel a pinch, that slight sting of inadequacy. Now fast forward 2,000 years. Seneca writes in his letters, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This is the first prison Stoicism exposes: the prison of opinion. The opinions of others, the opinions of society, even your own opinions about what is success, beauty, or worth. We're taught to value what others applaud: likes, followers, social proof. We let strangers' judgments dictate our choices. We buy things we don't need to impress people we barely know. We alter our authentic selves to fit shifting trends, and yet we wonder why we feel empty. The Stoics taught that external validation is a fragile foundation for life. Epictetus, born a slave, who could have been the ultimate prisoner of circumstance, said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, liberation begins when you stop letting the crowd's opinions chain your soul. When you realize that their praise or scorn cannot touch your character. In our age of social media echo chambers, this is more relevant than ever. Stoicism tells you, focus on your internal standard of good. Live by your values. Judge your worth by your character, not applause. That's true freedom. 2. The second prison, the prison of desire. We live in a consumerist machine engineered to keep us wanting. New tech, new clothes, new experiences. Even personal growth itself becomes a kind of addiction. We're promised happiness just beyond the next purchase or milestone. Marcus Aurelius saw through this illusion. As the most powerful man in the world, he wrote privately in his meditations, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Imagine having the entire Roman Empire under your command and still realizing that lasting joy doesn't come from conquest or luxury. How many of us have far less, yet think we need far more? Desire is an endless treadmill. You get what you want, and the pleasure fades. The Stoics were not killjoys who wanted you to deny all pleasure. They wanted you to become its master, to enjoy things when they come, but not to be owned by them. Seneca put it beautifully, and it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Modern life intensifies cravings. Your phone buzzes, ads target your deepest longings, algorithms show you ideal bodies, lifestyles, adventures. The Stoic response? Cultivate inner sufficiency. Practice gratitude daily. Recognize how little you truly need. Freedom means wanting less. It means delighting in simple things: a walk, a conversation, the morning sun. It means training your mind to savor what's here, not chase what isn't. I explained originally that people with room enough to have extra room were deeply depressed when they thought of the past. 3. The third prison, the prison of fear. Perhaps the deepest prison is fear. Fear of loss, rejection, failure, sickness, aging, death. Modern life amplifies this with 24/7 news cycles feeding us worst-case scenarios. The Stoics confronted fear head-on. They used a practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Rather than avoiding dark thoughts, they would imagine loss vividly. What if I lost my wealth, my reputation, even my life? Far from being morbid, this was a rehearsal for resilience. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." If you can train your mind to see loss as natural, to accept that hardship is part of fate, fear loses its grip. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This sharp awareness of mortality, what the Stoics called memento mori, isn't meant to paralyze you. It's meant to liberate you. When you know that everything is fleeting, you stop clinging. You start living more fully, more presently, more bravely. Look at how we tiptoe through life today, afraid to speak our minds, to change careers, to end toxic relationships because we fear discomfort. We play it safe, trading vibrant life for quiet desperation. Stoicism shatters that. It calls you to see that your fears are mostly phantoms, that discomfort is temporary, that courage is choosing to act in spite of fear. Imagine how free you'd be if fear no longer ruled you, if rejection, loss, or even death couldn't enslave your mind. That is the Stoic path. That is liberation. 4. The fourth prison, the prison of ego. Ego is a sly captor. It whispers that we must be special, superior, recognized. Modern culture feeds this with endless metrics, followers, titles, income brackets. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others, wondering what they say, what they do, or why. Keep to the straight line, what is necessary and useful." Our egos crave significance. We want to be admired. But ironically, this dependence on external status is another chain. The Stoics taught humility, not self-loathing, but accurate self-estimation. You are a tiny part of a vast universe. Your problems, however intense now, will fade like footprints in sand. Accepting this dissolves arrogance and frees you from the exhausting race to be important. In modern workplaces, families, even spiritual communities, ego is a silent tyrant. It makes us defensive, anxious, obsessed with winning petty arguments. It distorts our relationships, pushing us to control others to maintain a fragile self-image. Liberation is seeing yourself as you are, a fallible, mortal being among other fallible mortals, able to grow, to err, to serve, not above or below, simply part of the grand cosmic tapestry. 5. Stoicism and modern mental health. Now let's bring this directly into today's challenges. Rates of anxiety, depression, and existential despair are skyrocketing. People feel disconnected despite constant digital contact. They feel trapped by careers, debts, social expectations. They turn to distractions. Netflix, alcohol, endless scrolling. Stoicism isn't a magic bullet for clinical issues, but its psychological insights are profound. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most effective modern treatments for anxiety and depression, directly draws from Stoic thought. The core idea? Your thoughts shape your emotions. By examining and challenging irrational beliefs, you change how you feel. Epictetus laid this out centuries ago. Men are disturbed not by things but by the views they take of them. Imagine applying this next time you're anxious. Instead of spiraling, "This is terrible, I can't handle it," you pause. You examine, is it really terrible or just uncomfortable? What evidence do I have I can't handle it? Haven't I endured worse? Stoicism also reconnects us to what we can control. Modern life bombards us with global crises we feel powerless to fix. The Stoic dichotomy of control offers clarity. Attend diligently to what's up to you, your actions, your attitudes. Accept with grace what isn't. Accept with grace what isn't. This isn't passivity, it's strategic focus. By withdrawing your energy from uncontrollable externals, you regain power over your own mind and life. 6. Stoicism and relationships. Liberation doesn't mean isolation. Stoics weren't cold hermits. They deeply valued human bonds, but they aimed to love wisely. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you can improve." Modern relationships are often transactional, based on ego needs. We seek validation, control, reassurance. This creates subtle chains of manipulation or dependence. A Stoic approach to relationships is liberating. You love from strength, not need. You show up as your best self, not to extract something from the other. You accept people as they are, knowing you can't control them. And if a relationship becomes toxic, you have the courage to walk away, because your peace doesn't hinge on another's behavior. Imagine how freeing it is to love without clinging, to give without demanding, to stand whole beside another whole person. That's Stoic liberation in human bonds. 7. The ultimate freedom. Inner peace. At the heart of Stoicism is the realization that true freedom isn't external. It's not about ideal circumstances. It's about mastering your own mind. Epictetus was literally a slave who became freer than most emperors. Why? Because his inner state didn't depend on outer chains. No man is free who is not master of himself. Think about this in your own life. How often does your mood, your day, your sense of self swing wildly because of someone's comment, a financial setback, a political event? Liberation is when these things still matter, but they no longer own you. You feel them, but you're not ruled by them. You steer your life by reason and virtue, not impulse and fear. This inner fortress doesn't mean numbness. It means invulnerability. It means moving through the storms of life with calm eyes and a courageous heart. 8. How to start your Stoic liberation. So, how do you actually begin? Here are some powerful Stoic practices you can start today. Morning reflection. Each morning, take a few minutes to remind yourself of your principles. Visualize possible obstacles. Prepare your mind. Evening journaling. Marcus Aurelius wrote nightly, examining where he lived up to or fell short of his values. Do the same. This builds self-mastery. Premeditatio malorum. Don't shy from imagining loss. Picture setbacks. Train yourself to accept them. This makes you resilient. Voluntary discomfort. Occasionally fast. Take cold showers. Do hard things. This proves to you that comfort isn't necessary for peace. Gratitude. Each day list things you're thankful for. This shifts focus from lack to abundance. Focus on what you control. Whenever stressed, ask, is this within my power? If not, release it. Meditate on mortality. Remember you could leave life at any moment. This sharpens your sense of what truly matters. Through these daily acts, you carve new neural pathways. You literally sculpt a freer, stronger mind. So here's the ultimate truth. The modern world will never stop offering new chains, new fears, new cravings, new opinions to chase. But you have a choice. You can be swept along, a prisoner to external forces, or you can stand firm, anchored in timeless wisdom, liberated from within. Imagine facing challenges without panic, loving without clutching, Working from purpose, not ego. Waking each day knowing that fortune can take everything except your integrity. That's what the Stoics offer. That's the gateway to liberation. 9. The prison of identity and labels. Let's explore another silent prison we rarely notice, the prison of identity, the rigid labels we wrap ourselves in. Today, everyone is building a personal brand. We define ourselves by career, nationality, political tribe, gender, sexual orientation, spiritual belief, even hobbies. These can all be meaningful, but they also become cages. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people stop at outside events, but what if the deepest outside events are even your labels, your past stories, your inherited roles? When your entire worth hinges on being the successful one, or the enlightened one, or the rebel, you start living to defend that script. You avoid truths that threaten it. You become brittle, defensive, afraid to evolve. This happens everywhere. Think of someone terrified to change careers because everyone knows me as the engineer, or someone who clings to bitterness because I've always been the victim. Stoicism invites you to hold identity lightly. You are not your job, not your followers' count, not your past wounds. You're a rational being, capable of virtue, with an inner citadel no label can contain. Imagine how liberating it is to simply act rightly without defending an image, to change direction if reason demands it, to grow beyond the stories others have told you or that you've told yourself. Pause this video and comment. What identity label do you feel most chained by? Sharing it might be the first step to loosening its grip. 10. The prison of busyness. Another modern chain is the cult of busyness. Ask anyone today how they're doing, and you'll hear, "Busy man, crazy busy." It sounds like a complaint, but it's often a boast. In a society that worships productivity, being busy is a badge of honor. It means you're important, needed, successful. Seneca would laugh at this insanity. He warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Look closely. Much of your busyness is running on a treadmill going nowhere. Responding to emails that don't matter, saying yes to commitments that drain you, keeping up appearances, buying things you must now maintain. We confuse motion with progress. We chase fleeting goals without asking whether they align with our deepest values. The Stoics urge a radical shift. Value your time more than your wealth. After all, money lost can be regained, but wasted hours? Gone forever. Practical Stoic tip. Each morning, ask what truly matters today. Each evening, ask, did I spend my limited life energy on things of real worth? Imagine how different your life would feel if you did only what was essential and let go of frantic, ego-driven busyness. 11. The prison of comfort. Comfort sounds like the goal of life. Heated homes, endless entertainment, instant meals. What's wrong with that? The Stoics would warn, comfort is a double-edged sword. If it becomes a need, it becomes a chain. Epictetus advised, practice yourself for heaven's sake in little things, and thence proceed to greater. He meant train your mind by voluntarily enduring small discomforts, a cold shower, fasting, silence, solitude. Why? Because it toughens your spirit. It breaks addiction to ease. Modern society is built on removing all friction. You can have groceries delivered in an hour. You can medicate every pain. You can stream endless distractions. And the moment real hardship strikes, you're unprepared. Voluntary discomfort makes you anti-fragile. You learn that you can be cold, hungry, bored, and still okay. This frees you from the terror of discomfort. It lets you live boldly because hardship no longer paralyzes you. Let's just make one challenge to ourselves. Tonight, skip one indulgence, maybe social media for an hour. Sit quietly with any discomfort that arises. Notice how it shrinks under awareness. This is Stoic training. 12. The prison of the future. Think about how much of your mental life is spent anticipating, hoping, fearing, strategizing. We live not in the present, but in an imagined future. That future becomes another jailer. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." Anxiety is usually fear of what might happen, or of not getting what we hope will happen. This constant living in tomorrow robs us of today. The Stoics teach that liberation is grounding yourself in this moment, fully inhabiting it, acting well now, because the future is only ever shaped by present actions. It doesn't mean you ignore planning, it means you stop being a hostage to what's uncertain. Visualization practice. Close your eyes, picture your biggest worry for the future. Now, zoom out, see yourself tiny against the vast cosmos. Ask, can I do anything about this today? If yes, take the step. If no, release it. This is Stoic power, embracing uncertainty, acting with calm courage in the only time you ever have, now. 13. Stoicism versus toxic positivity. Modern distortion of ancient wisdom is the cult of toxic positivity. Good vibes only. Just think happy thoughts. Stoicism is sometimes confused with this, but it's fundamentally different. The Stoics didn't tell you to plaster over suffering with shallow optimism. They told you to face life's harshest truths squarely and still choose virtue. Marcus Aurelius dealt with plagues, invasions, constant betrayals. His journals aren't feel-good slogans. They're rigorous reminders to stand firm despite reality's harshness. True Stoicism is radical acceptance. It says, yes, life is hard. Yes, people will disappoint you. Yes, you will get sick and die. And even so, you can cultivate wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. You can flourish under any conditions. That's far more liberating than false cheer. It means you don't need perfect circumstances to be at peace. You become unshakable because your serenity is earned through confronting reality, not denying it. 14. Liberation is contagious, how your example frees others. Here's a profound truth. Your Stoic liberation isn't just for you. It radiates outward. When you break free of fear, people notice. When you stop living for opinions, it gives others permission to do the same. When you show calm under pressure, you steady your entire circle. Seneca wrote, "There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with." Your freedom becomes a beacon. Your family sees a model of resilience. Your friends feel safer around your non-reactivity. Even strangers sense the quiet power in someone who doesn't flinch before fate. This is how small ripples create societal change. One liberated mind inspires another. Imagine a world where more people lived by reason instead of rage, virtue instead of vanity, courage instead of comfort. If this idea moves you, share this video with someone you care about. Maybe you'll be the spark that helps them break their own chains. 15. Final meditations. Your life is a breath. Let's close with perhaps the most liberating and haunting Stoic insight. Your life is breathtakingly brief. Marcus Aurelius constantly wrote to himself reminders of mortality, not to be morbid, but to sharpen his priorities, to break the illusion that we have endless time. He said, "Consider how swiftly all things are swept away and carried off. The infinite gulf of past and future in which all things disappear. Most people live as if immortal. They waste years worrying, resenting, chasing trivialities. Then old age comes, and they wonder where it went. A truly liberated life is one that remembers death daily, not to despair, but to intensify living. You realize, I might never get this morning again, this conversation, this breath. So you drop petty grudges, you speak your love, you savor ordinary moments with extraordinary attention. Right now, wherever you are, pause. Feel your chest rise and fall. Look around at small details. Smile at the fragile, precious miracle of simply being alive today. This is the Stoic secret. Awareness of death is what frees you to truly live. You stop waiting for someday. You begin inhabiting your moments with open eyes and a fearless heart. So that's what Stoicism offers in this chaotic modern age. Not the illusion of control over an unpredictable world, but mastery over your own mind. Freedom from fear, craving, ego, busyness, labels, and even the terror of death. Join the Stoic Gateway community of the liberated. This is how you walk unchained through a world full of traps. How you become a calm center in the storm, a light for others still wandering in darkness. If this message resonates with you, hit subscribe and join our growing family at Stoic Gateway. We're building more than a channel. We're building a meeting place for minds committed to living wisely and freely. Comment below with the prison you're working to break. Let's support each other. And remember, no one can liberate you but yourself, but we can walk this hard, beautiful path together. This is just the beginning. We're going to explore deeper truths, practical tools, and build a community that refuses to be slaves to modern madness. Remember, freedom isn't granted by the world, it's forged in your own mind. Stay strong, stay wise, and keep walking the Stoic path. Welcome to Stoic Gateway.